Hey there, my name is Anthony Romano, and in this video I'm going to tell you about the difference between one meal a day on a keto metabolism and one meal a day on a carb metabolism. Basically, a lot of people are getting hype over these smaller eating windows, and not a lot of people know that there's a dramatic difference between how your body functions when you're coming from small eating windows on keto compared to carb metabolism. So I've talked about this plenty of times, but probably repeating myself for some of my subscribers, but for those of you who are new here, keto goes very hand in hand with fasting. They're basically the same state, and nobody seems to talk about this on YouTube. Of course, there are some slight differences, but your body is still running on a ketogenic metabolism on both. Just with one, you can eat food, and one, you're not eating food, you're eating solely your body fat. So instead of having body fat and food, you have just body fat with fasting. Now, smaller eating windows and one meal a day, what you basically have is there are other factors at play that affect how easy it is for you. I know for myself personally, every time I have fasting in place and I'm eating carbs, intermittent fasting and carbs, it's much harder for me to go longer parts of the day fasted. Keto just instantly amplifies my ability to fast, and I can fast for days on end with keto. I've never done a prolonged fast coming from a carb metabolism, but I've done multiple days with water after coming from a keto metabolism, and just easily, just instinctively, oh, I don't want to eat today. Oh, I don't want to eat the next day. Oh, I don't want to eat the next day. Just that's how you feel with keto. You're not dependent on food. Now, with Keto OMAD, you have full ketosis, and every time you're fasting, you're deepening that level of ketosis because those ketones are coming from your body. People on YouTube for keto misconstrue things. They make it sound like you have to throw butter into every single food you eat and get 1 billion calories of fat and don't eat any protein because they don't know what they're talking about. And what actually comes out is you have really high ketone levels, but it's all coming from the pounds of butter you ate hours ago. So it's not necessarily coming from your body fat. Yeah, you're going to feel great. Yeah, you're going to have performance benefits, but it's because those levels of ketones are coming from your food, your plate, not from your fat that you want to get rid of. So maybe that's not an issue for you. Maybe you just want to feel good and still get some steady fat loss. That's great, and I do that all the time. Now, for those of you who are really concerned about fat loss and you're doing one meal a day because you think that's going to guarantee more fat loss, I assure you, I guarantee you, your fat loss will increase if you just switch to a keto metabolism, and then from there, let your eating window fall as it may. You don't need to focus on the extra hours of, oh, I need to get just one meal a day, 1 hour eating window type thing, or 4 hour eating window, whatever. It will be way easier to do this if you switch to keto macros, but you can do both. I've done both, and there's nothing wrong with either. Now, there's a couple other factors at play with one meal a day on carb metabolism. You have to consider your liver glycogen, and you have to consider what your last meal was. So this ties in with liver glycogen, but liver glycogen is your stored carbohydrates. So you probably have, basically the barrier to getting into ketosis is that you've depleted your liver glycogen, and then from there you'll start burning ketones. Now, with one meal a day, if you eat carbs in the evening, what's going to happen is the next day, around 24 hours from now, when you deplete that liver glycogen, you're going to be hungry again. So if you eat your carbs at night, you're going to be hungry again for carbs at night. If you eat your carbs the daytime, your first meal, you're going to be hungry again the next day at the daytime for carbs again because your body's depleted that liver glycogen over the course of the past 24 hours. Now, eating carbs in the morning and then fat at night basically will allow you to run through that liver glycogen, and then your evening time meal will be higher in fat, and then the next day, because you had that fat, as your liver glycogen was lowering, you're going to find it easier to fast. So that's a big tip for OMAD that's not on keto. Get your carbs in the morning and then your fat in the night, and of course your protein as well. But it really doesn't matter. If your first meal is carb, your second meal is fat, your last meal is fat, whatever. Bottom line, on the one meal a day type thing, or, I'm saying one meal a day and I'm talking about multiple meals. I'm talking about the hours, right? The beginning and the end. But basically you're going to be eating all your food at once. So basically you're not really going to be getting the multiple meals. I'm just talking about for the theory here. So whether you came here for OMAD or whether you came here for just advanced intermittent fasting, the closer to your last meal, the closer to the end of your fast, when you have that fat right for your last meal, the next day you're going to have more of an easy time fasting due to fat being conducive to fasting. Keto and fasting are the same state, and eating fat is going to make your body tap into fat the next day, especially if your liver glycogen's running low. Again, filling up your liver glycogen, and then if you fill up your liver glycogen in the last meal, and then the next morning you wake up, you're probably not going to be craving carbs like mad, just because you have plenty in your body. Now, if you're somebody who's more overweight, maybe you will, because maybe that blood sugar spike at the nighttime is going to spike and then drop while you sleep, and then the next day you're going to wake up with very low blood sugar levels, and you're going to be craving food. And that's, again, why it's a very tight topic to dance around with OMAD and carbs. You really should be doing OMAD with ketogenic macros, because what happens is you're not going to have a blood sugar spike and fall before you go to bed if you fast in the nighttime. If you fast in the nighttime, what's going to happen is basically, if you're on keto macros, you have that last meal, you sleep how you normally do, then you wake up the next day, your blood sugar is the exact same as it was when you went to sleep, except maybe, like literally this is the difference in blood sugar, like a little spike, because maybe your body turns some of the protein into glucose. Now, what's going to happen is, if you are on a carb metabolism and you do this, any carbs right at the eating period will probably spike your blood sugar. Again, I don't know where they're coming from your diet, but if you have large amounts of carbs, the next day when you wake up, you'll probably be hungry, and it might be harder for you in the daytime to fast and to function. So again, I recommend having keto macros when you do OMAD. If you're going to go for just longer fasting windows, I'd say have the carbs for your first one and then the fat and protein for the second meal. That's how I'd say to do it. So that's the gist on some strategies for keto OMAD and carb OMAD. But overall, you can do whatever eating window you like. But I've experienced almost all of them at this point. Actually, I'm going to say all of them at this point, and I can tell you which ones I preferred way more. If you want some more questions answered, leave them in the comments. If you learned anything of value, subscribe to me right now. And beyond that, if you want a free meal plan, a free training plan, links in the description. But if you want something more personal, a little more personal touch, I'm going to have online coaching up and running very soon, so I can work with you and get you to your goals and always be there, literally 24/7. Hit me up. I get you back with whatever questions you may have on this whole confusing and convoluted fat loss, performance, and dieting topic that we're getting so into in 2019. Thank you for watching. Join my Facebook group if you want to share your experiences with other people. And beyond that, my name is Anthony Romano. Peace.